Hey, and we're live.
Guys, welcome to Quest for Player 2, the Geek's dating advice show for the geek. I don't know if it's really advice, but it's Jessica and I's experience about all of our mistakes.
Learn it
Let's
from
be
us.
honest about it. That's what it's really about. But we are live here at the Comic Bug in Manhattan Beach, California. Now, if you're a fan of comic books, and you're in Southern California, or plan on coming to Southern California, I plan on coming here. You should plan on coming here. Mainly because this is the best comic store probably in the world. At least top five. They also have cool things for like creator meetings every like Wednesday or Tuesday or whatever day. You would know. I don't know what days those are.
24-hour comic book day.
Yeah. Wednesdays. Every Wednesdays they have creator meetings. So if you ever wanted to get into comics, drop by right here at the Comic Bug in Manhattan Beach.
And look at this new sign from Daniel. Shout out Daniel Nagami.
That is very, very cool.
I think so, too.
Jessica, you weren't feeling so well last week. How you feeling now?
I'm doing much better. Thank you for asking. Little congestion, little sinus thing happening, but I'm back.
Back and ready to roll.
That's right.
Now, in the last week since we have seen each other, is any fun new things going on in your life? You were just telling your voting experience on Instagram.
I was going to say, we both voted. That happened today. That was an interesting experience. A little unhelpful, but that's okay.
I also feel like if you don't vote, you get shamed. So I was really shamed into voting.
You know what? I'm gonna agree. I have a lot of opinions on voting. I'm gonna keep it to myself because it's unfair to spill on everybody else. But the point is, it is a little shameful if you don't vote.
Yeah, you should go out and do your civic duty and vote, just as you should jury duty. But I skipped jury duty the last 3 times. I might be getting arrested now.
I lied my way out of jury duty. True story. I could not afford to be there for a murder trial that was a month long. I'm sorry.
I'm interested because this is it's interesting because you get peer pressured into doing a lot of things just being kind of impressionable. I think we're at that age now. I'm a lot older than you. I don't say a lot. I'm older than you.
2 years.
I'm older than you, but I think that we're at a weird age that if you don't do something or do something, it's either frowned upon or applauded. And we live in a social media culture.
Yes.
I feel like a lot of people voted mainly to get this stupid sticker.
To put on Instagram.
You know what I think about this sticker? This is the dumbest thing. If I did it, I did it.
I crumpled mine up. I hated my experience.
I literally just wore that sticker to do that.
Did you make an Instagram post?
No.
Me neither.
I think it's ridiculous.
I wanted to prove to people, because if you don't do it, they're like, oh, he didn't vote, she didn't vote. It's going to be a whole thing.
Listen, I'm all for voting, but this is actually going to lead into our topic today.
This is our culture. Yeah.
So the topic today is when do you know? Now, we live our lives. I feel like it's interesting because we all live our lives and through some aspect through social media.
Of course.
It's almost kind of like a pinpoint of like a pinpoint of like what you're doing at a very specific time in your life, because either A, you're trying to impress people, or B, you're just trying to keep people up to date. Yeah. The people that don't see you. Either way.
And it's a quick way for things to spread.
So let me ask you this, because this is a twofold system. When is the time right? Now, when is the time? This is twofold here.
Okay.
Because I think we should discuss both ways. When is the time right to hook up with somebody, but when is the time right to dump somebody?
Are we going to do both?
We're going to do both.
Ooh, okay. I like this double header. Number one, when it's right to hook up with somebody, the answer will always be, the first and foremost answer is when you are ready. That's it. And
also, we want to get your answers as well, and you can use the super chat feature right here in the chat. That's going to leave your comments up there. It'll interact with Jessica and I directly, and it also helps support the show. So as you guys saw, and as you guys saw on Instagram, which you can follow us on at that #show, it showed us a little setup and stuff, but it helps us interact with you guys. But like Jessica was saying, when you are ready. Now, how does one know when they're ready?
Well,
do they talk to their friends? Do
we
they
have
get
a few
peer
tips
pressured via social media?
Yeah.
Let's start hitting some of those tips up. That sounded weird.
Okay. Here's number one. Yeah, when you are ready, when you really, really want to. You're not getting pressure from your partner. You're not getting pressure from school or friends or any outside environment. It's because you want to do it. Number two is you have realistic expectations after it happens, meaning you're not going to hook up with this person in hopes that they become more serious or want to be monogamous with you, etc., etc. Go into it knowing what the talk about it after. You know what I mean? Get on the same page, because there's nothing worse than both of you having two different ideas of what's happening.
Communication's key.
Communicate. Number three, know the risks and play it safe. Always play it safe.
That means wrap it up. You had a great. What was your little slogan?
Wear a raincoat.
No, you had like a little slogan. You had a whole slogan.
Wrap it before you tap it.
Maybe it was wrap it before you tap it. It was something like that. Wrap it before you tap it. Now on the that is a shirt. That's Jessica's new shirt. Wrap it before you tap it. Let me ask you a question though. So on the opposite side of the spectrum,
sure.
When do you know it's time to break up with somebody?
In my experience, because I think it's different for everyone.
And I'm mainly just asking you this as a friend to friend, mainly because I don't like breaking up with people.
I hate it.
So what's the
yeah, we got to get into that too. I don't know.
What's the rule of thumb here?
For me, it was always time to break up.
Hold on, I love Don Juan. You're my favorite in the chat right now. He says, "Wait, so the random girl at the bar who I take home for a night isn't wife material?" Damn it!
No, she is wife material, but just be on the same page before you do it.
Kudos to you, Don Juan.
She's somebody's wife, probably. I don't know.
And great name, by the way, for this show. But so when do you know when it's time to break up somebody? And what do you know? When do you know when you're there?
I know when I'm there when you look at them. And it's equal parts love and hate. Meaning, when you are both unfulfilled in the relationship and you kind of, it's always like a gut feeling too. I always go back to this because it's true. Your intuition pretty much tells you what's right and what's wrong for you at that moment. So when I feel like, obviously, we're fighting too much, it's impossible to get on the same page. We've had problem after problem, or they betrayed my trust. Goodbye. You know what I mean? Like, those are the big bullet points where I'm like, you are not fulfilled, I am not fulfilled. You are not happy, I am not happy.
So this reverts back to last week's episode of Red Flags.
Yeah, it boils down to not being happy. If you feel like you're in it because it's convenient, or it's been so long that's just comfortable for you and you don't know how to get out of it, if it's anything but you want to be in the relationship, then get out. For me, that's what's worked. What about you?
I told you already. I just get girls to break up with me because I don't like being the bad guy.
That sounds like your ego gets, like, you don't want to be.
Ego's the wrong word. I'm perfectly okay with the guy that's like, like getting broken up with. I just don't want to be the bad guy, and I think a lot of that has to do with like
ego. You don't want to be the bad guy.
No, I think it more so. I already have a certain reputation for not being the nicest person in the world sometimes.
Fair enough.
And I think
you don't want to be reinforced.
Yeah,
by
I
your
don't want to be reinforced with my actions of like,
God.
oh yeah, guy, he really is an asshole.
Right.
But no, I think though that like for me, it's very easy for me to, and sometimes I get in my head about it, but it's very easy for me to definitely get annoyed with people very quickly. And I also know that if I spend enough time with people like on a long-term basis, that I get irritated very quickly.
But that's going to happen no matter who you're with.
That means
there's no such.
Person.
Well, no, that's not true. It doesn't. The perfect person, your perfect match, will at some point in time annoy you. 2 tiers, it will happen.
Well,
so you can't break up with everybody that annoys you because everyone's different.
Hey, well, that's what's called finding the right one, right?
I'm just saying the right one will still bother you at some point.
Ro has a curveball question.
I put it in your chat.
Oh.
What's our chat?
Where?
Question.
It's from that hashtag show.
Oh, for Jess. If you have no intention of staying together but are still having fun, do you stay, Jessica? Most men will. That question's from Ro.
If we're on the same page and we both are having fun, then yeah, I mean that's okay. Like I said, it's what's good for you. So
we've covered that actually, and that's
and I've done that. There's been times where it's like we both know this is just fun, right? And usually it doesn't work out that way. But there has been times.
Or you say that,
or break it off, or I'm just like, ooh, I don't like this anymore.
Oh, maybe you were the one that said that, like, you either get clingy or they either get clingy.
Yes,
and it's like,
but there's been a few times where it's just been a mutual, like, we know what this is, it's fun, it's whatever, and then we go our separate ways. It didn't last very long, but it was still.
So let me ask you that.
Very few and far between.
For mutual, like, kind of like booty call relationships, when's the right time for it to end?
When you're not feeling it. I remember when I stopped feeling it, when I felt like it was a hassle to see this person, I was just like, you know what? Or when I started to feel really bad about myself, that was a key. That was a key factor. I was kind of like, ooh, I don't feel like this behavior isn't making me feel good anymore. So I think I'm gonna.
This is an interesting question, which is not a part of this topic, but I find it super fascinating, and I've had this conversation with Daniel. Would you be okay, in general? And I'll answer the same question. Being the side piece.
And
that
Daniel's
person,
coming from a man, so man with a man.
it was. It actually was. No joke.
Wait, say that
So,
again?
so would you be okay if that person was in a relationship, knowing that person was in a relationship? Would you be okay being the side person?
I know they're in a monogamous relationship.
Well, yeah. Well, or a relationship.
A
in general,
relationship?
Yeah, yeah.
No. I could, knowing that they're in a relationship, I'm the type of person where that would keep me up at night, and it's not. Nothing is worth that to me. That would not be worth it. So no, I would have a problem with that. Now, if it was somebody that I didn't know was in a relationship, well, then you're none
That
the
happened to me.
wiser. That would be the worst because you feel guilty, but you know you didn't do anything wrong because you were in the dark about
I
it.
told you about the married girl. Let's call her.
Let's call her.
Fuck,
What's her
man,
number?
Come on,
Put her
it's
on.
not gonna happen.
Call her husband.
Actually, so I already told you how I bought a plane ticket and everything, right? Because she was in New York. at the
Yes,
time.
yeah, but she waited till you bought the plane ticket.
Yeah,
and then
I was a week away from leaving.
Oh my god!
And it
What
was
did
like-
you do with that plane ticket, by the way? Did you go
No,
anyways?
I didn't do anything. I think I got a voucher for it.
Ah, okay.
That was the worst. It was the freaking
Sorry.
worst.
Did you cry?
No.
Okay.
No, I was more upset than anything else, and then
You were lied to.
being stupid, I tried to get with my ex-girlfriend like right after, and then she was like, "No, it's not gonna happen," and I was like, "What?"
Wow,
And then
double rejection.
But that was a terrible idea, mainly because I was only doing that out of a very reactionary place.
Yeah. Impulsive.
Yeah, it was
you were
very
hurting.
impulsive.
I see.
So let's talk about this. Let's talk about when you know it's the right time. So also, when do you know it's the right time? Oh, talk more about your list, actually.
All right, we have a few more. Yeah. Also, make sure you're both legal. That would be 18, consensual. Just got to throw that in there. Number 5, you're both sober. This isn't an impulse decision.
What?
You're not both at least for the first time. Yes, please make sure you're sober. Because there's nothing worse than not being sober. Let's call it inebriated. And you wake up in the morning and you roll over you peek and you see who's next to you and you just have this flood of what the heck happened.
But we
last
got
night?
it. Let's talk from experience. I think it's both. It's happened to us. I think it's happened to me for sure.
I hate it.
And I 100% would be the guy that would just leave and just be like, "Oh fuck, like I gotta get out of here."
Yeah, I mean, I think that's everybody when they
I
wake.
bruised
when
the
they're-
bottom of my feet hopping a fence to protect myself. True story.
You didn't even know that part of your body bruises.
I bruised the bottom of my feet hopping a fence to get away because I locked myself in, and I felt
you
like
locked yourself
I
in.
locked myself into this girl's like condo, and my car was on the other side, so I had to hop a fence that was pretty large, and I was like, well, I guess this is gonna happen. When I hit the ground, like I hit so hard it bruised the bottom of my foot.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. And then I was like, well, I still didn't learn my lesson though.
Yeah, you're back there next week,
Yeah.
hopping the fence again. Oh, Lord. So, yeah, make sure you're sober, because then at least you're in a clear space. Plus, you want to remember it. I mean, really, your first time, you want to remember. For me, I think that would have been important.
Wait, we only talking our first times?
Or when
Or
you
just
know
in
it's
general?
time. Oh, yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, in general. Number 6, you've got a plan, because here's the thing. We all have fun, and then sometimes accidents happen. So at least you have to think ahead a little bit. Worst case scenario, if you're not ready and you get pregnant, what are you guys going to do? As a unit, individually, just think ahead. Just give it some thought. That's all I'm saying. This is what the internet tells me. Number 7, you trust your partner. You feel comfortable. You trust them. You know that it's going to be
That super
mutually-
chat. Larry says side pieces
Ooh.
side pieces of fried chicken with some butter, biscuits, and strawberry soda.
That's
Also
right.
pancakes in the morning.
That's right.
Hey, what's your favorite after sex meal?
Who asked that?
I'm asking you. That's a random question, but are you more hungry than you normally would be?
Here's the thing. I don't think I've ever dated somebody,
Oh, I have a question. I just want you to answer this one
after
first.
sex meal. Probably something like a diner food. I like
Yeah,
diner
me too.
food.
Diner food, it's the best, right?
I love diner food. Mel's, shout out. You
I
know
don't
who
know.
you are.
I do like diner. Like all I really think about is hash browns. And I don't know why.
And no, but it's the whole thing. It's the coffee. It's the eggs. You dip it with it's a whole thing. I
It's
love
like
it.
that episode of The Office where Dwight is just like chowing down on diner food, and it's like, oh, it's kind of a place.
There's something. Oh my god! I get my own banner this week. I love it. Okay, number 8. Understand that it won't be glamorous. Oh, that was for your first time. Scratch that. Number 9. You know that no matter what, you can still say no. Even if it's down to the last second. You guys talked about it. Let's hook up. It's happening Friday night. You get there. you don't want to, it's okay to say no. Just understand that. I just like to be very clear about boundaries.
That was
I have a thing with boundaries.
well, as you should.
Anyway, how do you know it's time?
It depends. How many? I need 5 shots, maybe.
No, if you're sober, how do you know it's time?
Sober? That's a different thing.
Have you ever had a hookup sober?
Oh, like a random hookup?
Yep.
No way.
Okay, what about a regular hookup, a relationship hookup?
Sober, of course.
Oh, well, I don't know.
Like like you mean just like meeting somebody like yeah, it's happened.
Okay.
But I think you know what it is for me honestly. The drinking involved is almost kind of like the shield of protection, saying like, oh, we were both drunk kind of a thing, so you have an excuse to kind of fall back on if it doesn't work out. To me, I think mentally, that's kind of like a crutch for me.
I think it's a crutch for sure. Like for me, when I drink and do that, it was because I knew that whatever guilty conscience or whatever voice I had saying, hey, probably not a good idea, I suppressed it so that way I could do whatever I wanted in that moment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because your inhibitions are gone. So
it's an excuse.
Yes, it's an excuse to be your alter ego.
But when I'm sober though, and I don't know if I'm looking necessarily for hookups, but I also don't. I mean, it's a different mindset though, because right now it's just a different mindset completely. Because I think when you're sober, you're looking for something more substantial, more real, and or just not looking at all, and just kind of happens, right?
Yeah.
You just kind of get into a conversation with somebody, it kind of flows, and then like one thing leads to another. But when you're drunk, it's just kind of like I don't care.
Yeah, and if they're both drunk.
Not advocating being drunk. I'm just saying.
Yeah, remember number 5 on our list. Yeah, no, I agree. If you're both drunk, you're both kind of making the same mistakes of the night. You might be in the same mindset. Who knows? I thought this was going to be a conversation of our first times, so I think I misunderstood the topic today.
What do you mean?
For some reason, I interpreted when you know it's time as like your first time.
Oh, we could do that too. Yeah, let's do that.
No. I mean, we don't have to touch base on it. I was just. No.
Well, let's talk
thinking
about
out loud.
the first time.
Well, I think
Are we giving our virginity stories away on this episode here?
I'd rather not, but I will say I will touch base on the fact that I was a very late bloomer.
How old were you?
In all aspects of life. It was 2 weeks before my 19th birthday. I was in college.
I was 18, solid 18.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I was solid 18.
Interesting.
That's crazy.
I
Late
always
bloomers.
thought, okay, maybe that's not a late bloomer though. Maybe that's normal, and everybody I knew in high school was just. I had people in I'm not kidding you, 6th grade already starting.
No, 100%.
And then by 8th grade, people were losing their virginity. I'm like, guys, I'm too afraid to kiss somebody. Seriously.
Let me ask you another question. When is the first? How old are you when you kissed somebody for the first time, like a real kiss?
16.
Oh wow, I think I
15
was.
or no, 6. It was like my 16th
I was 12.
birthday-ish.
I was 12. 12.
Yeah, you have a few years on me. I was afraid. Here's the thing. I don't know if it's because I didn't know my own body, or I was afraid of being intimate, and I think I was just afraid of connection or something. I don't know. I just remember being very young, and even like when I would go to parties and you would play like 7 Minutes in Heaven, and you close the door and you're in the closet. I never made out with that person.
Really?
I remember Donnie. Shout out to Donnie. I ran around the room. I was like, "Do not touch me. No. This is not going to happen. Don't want any part of this."
Really?
Like super prude because I just didn't. I was scared. I didn't want to do it. Didn't know how to do it. Didn't want you to see my body. That's where I was at.
So when I was, I agree with you. I was more of a late bloomer too, but then I really found. I really went to a wild streak during, like, right around college and right after college.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, it didn't stay that way, but yes.
But
starting out, it's
in that streak,
tricky.
like, I hung out with a group of people, and we used to do fun little games like that.
Yeah.
And
wait, in college?
well, just for like fun.
Oh, I was going to say, this
Like-
experience that I'm talking about, it
was pretty,
6th grade.
I mean, it was pretty raunchy. It would be a lot more to the extreme as an adult, though. But it was definitely, out there.
Spit in the bottle. I actually have played that a few times. That is such like an 80s thing to do now. I feel like kids nowadays don't even know what spin the bottle
Well, there's
is.
an app for it, I think. Jordan says he's still a virgin. He's in the chat.
Yes, he is.
Yes, he is.
Well, him and I are waiting till marriage,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. Dishes. So let's. I do want to talk about this because the first time, this is actually a really interesting topic because I didn't know that you were a late bloomer. I wasn't. So it was it's really interesting.
I really was.
When do you think the change happened in you mentally to be like, or when did you start thinking you were becoming more free? Because I actually look at you more as like a free spirit than more so than I think I would have.
I consider myself one of the most high-strung people I've ever met, so I appreciate you saying that. I think it started changing. Well, there was a brief period around 13 where I started to get afraid because I consider true story. I thought if I'm not ready to like do anything with men, could I be a lesbian? Like at 13, you don't know what that means, and you're really afraid. And then obviously, I figured out, of course, that's not the case. Great, but it does. It messes with your head because people are like, "Oh, you should start kissing boys. You should have a boyfriend. Do you like anybody?" And I had crushes on people, but I just never wanted to pursue it. However, I think by high school, I got some more confidence. I got a little bit. Yeah, I just felt a little bit more comfortable in my skin. I started to accept every part of me, and I was like, "All right, let's go for it." It's scary, but maybe it was the vulnerability. I don't know. But around my freshman year of high school, I was like, "Okay, I could see it happening." And then by 16 is when I really started like. Kiss and make out.
So wait, were you
date.
attracted to girls back then too?
No, I wasn't. But I just.
You have a great story about the time you saw your first penis that I've heard. That was a good one. But that kid that whipped it out and you like ran around. You want to tell that story? That's a good one.
Oh, in kindergarten?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Oh yeah. See, I was scarred for life.
That's what I think. There's a root to all this, and I think that might have been it.
Yeah, but then I have a darker story. I'm not gonna go there. Yeah, kindergarten. I did see my classmates. Genitalia. He whipped it out, and one girl started laughing, and I was the one that went screaming, and so maybe that was a telltale sign I wasn't ready for it. I did. I literally told the teacher, like, this poor kid was just probably, like, experimenting with himself, and I was like, she was so my teacher was livid. It was hilarious.
Real? Did he get in trouble?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Did he?
Yeah. They call them yellow tiger grams.
Why?
Because it was like our elementary version of giving away, like, almost like a parking, like you were bad. If you get 3 yellow tiger grams, you're suspended for the day.
So he got a yellow tiger gram for showing his wing.
He sure did.
That's hilarious. That is so funny.
I had a little mean streak in kindergarten, but you know.
What do you mean?
Poured an entire bottle of glue in this boy's shoe Elmer's glue, because me and my friend Katie thought that if we pour glue in the shoe and he puts his foot in, he'll have boots on forever. How funny would that be? This kid won't be able to take them off.
Is this a real story?
Swear to God.
Did you get a yellow tiger grab?
Oh,
That's the best.
so then this bitch next door, so this other girl who I actually really like, now we're friends, but she is at nap time and she wakes up and she sees us doing this out the door and she's like, and I see her face and I'm like, and she's like, Mrs. and she starts screaming. So whatever. Long story short, other teacher comes out. My teacher comes out. She screams. I'm talking like spit flying, foaming at the mouth. Like she was pissed at us. I start crying. Me and Katie have to go into the bathroom and clean his boot out. The whole time
That's
we're like,
great.
yeah.
Good story.
That's
You know.
amazing. I love that story.
And then after that, I was a great kid.
So Larry Newbill gives us another super chat, and she says, "No, she wasn't ready. You weren't ready to see that wing
I was
at
not.
that young age."
I was not.
It was weird. I was also I got bullied when I was a kid.
Did you really?
Oh yeah.
What?
I don't know. There was a kid. I'll never forget his
Late
name.
bloomer geeks.
His name was Danny.
Huh.
And he used to pick on me. And I remember being on the basketball court. He would like shove me down on the ground. He beat me up. He threw a rock at my eye. And, like,
Oh my
I still have
God.
a scar from it. And I remember like telling the teachers nothing would happen. I told my dad. And my dad was like, "Did you tell the teachers?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then he was like, "Well, listen, if I might have told you this," and he was
I'm
like,
just sad for you.
if the teachers aren't going to do anything, you're going to have to fight them. And I was like,
Oh, your dad's so old school.
and I was like, okay. And then I remember like I got picked on, and I remember like getting thrown. He hit me in the head with the basketball, and I turned
Ooh.
around and I just hit him as hard as I could in the stomach.
Oh, that hurt. You knocked the wind out of
I
him.
knocked the wind out of him, and he went down. And then they were like, I remember it was our counselor at the time. It was called a counselor at the time. He came up to me and he's like, "Come over here," and he talked to me, and he kind of like made it seem like I was in trouble. He was like, "Good job, you little troublemaker." And then that was it. So after that, I never got picked on again. But I was.
Interesting.
Definitely.
Where's Danny now? I love these stories. Where is he
Who
now?
knows? Who knows? I have no clue. I have
Okay.
no clue. This was at the YMCA in Hawthorne. So there used to be a YMCA in Hawthorne, which is like right up here. But I'll never forget it. And it was pretty crazy. But I wasn't a bad kid when I was younger. But then like when growing up with Daniel and them,
Yeah.
I was always like I wasn't the catalyst to be the bad kid, but I was always the one like pushing the boundaries.
I could see you being the ringleader, like, hey, Daniel, go do that.
Well, I remember there was like, and he'll tell you to this day, there was this girl that he was like in love with. Her name was Kia. She lived on our block, and her mom was British, and her mom hated me. Hated me. But she used to have these fat ass Christmas lights. The ones that you would screw out. So I used to just screw them out and like break them.
That's a good way to make a mother love you.
I was such a bad little kid, like at certain points, but hey, at least I was going outside, right?
At least you're honest.
I'm honest about it now. But let's go back to this subject real quick, because as we're young kids and we're always experimenting.
Right. When did it change for you? When was that pivotal time? Like I said, mine was around freshman, sophomore year.
You want to hear a fun fact? And this has nothing to do with some of the stuff we're talking about, but it has to do with my childhood. Sure. So I think that, this is a weird thing to say, but as growing up, and now it's a little different, but growing up, I was never super attracted to Asian girls. And even though I'm half Asian, like I was never really attracted to them. But I think the reason why, though, is because I never necessarily grew up with Asian girls. I grew up with every other kind of like race out here. So I always found that kind of interesting to me.
Is it a deeper issue?
No, because I think they're attractive now. So it's just like, to me, it's a taste thing, right? So I didn't like, what did I not like when I was a kid? I didn't like spinach when I was a kid, but I love it as an adult. So I think it's just a taste thing. It's a preference thing, right?
Yeah, something changed.
Anyway, when did what change for me?
You're a late bloomer, so when did you kind of start to get a little more open?
I was always attracted to girls.
No, but like kissing and stuff never scared you?
No, so when I was younger, I went to a small private school. And like I'm not gonna lie, this isn't to sound egotistical, but I was pretty popular, and at least my group of friends were too. I wouldn't say I was the most popular, but I think that there was a point in time where I think during like 7th or 8th grade I was.
Okay.
And but I wasn't the leader of my little group though. This Patrick Material, I never believe he was the leader of our group, but I happened to end up being the most popular because I was the nicest.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So
How ironic.
Larry Newbill was like, "You bad little shit." Joe, you bad little shit.
Larry.
Girls had a crush on me. I had crushes on girls. I remember this is 8th grade. It was the first time I ever cheated on a girl too.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
What?
And it was my graduation.
When was your first kiss?
6th grade.
Oh yeah, we said that. You said 12. Gee, 8th grade.
Yeah.
You're already practicing infidelity. I was just too afraid to hold hands.
Well, so the only reason I did it though is because there was this one girl at my school named Tiffany Warren that I really liked, and then we ended up like going out together. And when
I loved that.
Then she left my school, and then I was like, oh, Caroline's the hottest girl here now, so I'm gonna go out with her. So I went out with Caroline. And like this was our 8th grade graduation was coming up, and then there was rumors that Tiffany was coming to the graduation, and I was sweating it the whole fucking time.
As you should.
And I was like, this is the first time I was like, hey guys, this is a terrible idea. You want to hear another funny story?
What happened?
They never talked to each other. They never found out. I got away with it.
Cool.
Whew.
Got it.
But however, this is later on in life, and I remember feeling the same exact way. Oh man, I hope neither one of these girls are watching because I don't know. This was not that long ago actually. This was probably maybe 4 years ago. I was going out with my ex-girlfriend that I lived with. This was a straight up Zach Morris moment. And then I was dating another girl named Andrea at the time. I have so many stories about these two girls hating each other.
Clearly.
Anyway, I went out with I was going out with Andrea, and we had a holiday party at the roof of the Standard.
How old are you now?
Huh?
You just jumped. How old are you?
Oh yeah, now I'm I think 26,
okay,
27.
Cool. I was gonna say, you're my age. Great.
Yeah, so I was at the roof of the Standard Hotel.
Great. I have a great story there.
And that was one of the holiday parties. The other holiday party was at the bottom floor of the Standard Hotel.
Wow.
So I made sure to spend time and cut time between both floors. And
two different holiday parties. Same one.
It was a New Year's party. Both two different. It was straight up like Zach Morris, like, hey, so
I'm sweating.
This is a great party. I'll be right back. I gotta go check. And then I'd spend time with the other one, and it was just going back and forth.
Were you actively dating both?
You know what it reminded me of? Did anybody out there remember Superman Part 4? I know it's not the best movie, but do you remember where Clark Kent has to like go out with one girl, and then as Superman he goes out with the other girl? That's exactly what it was like, and it was the worst experience of my life.
I would be so afraid to do that. All it would take is
Oh.
for her to
Oh.
see you walking
You know what
out,
the worst
like-
part was? Is that the one on the bottom floor wanted to go up to the top. And I was like, no, there's nothing up there. I don't even think we don't have wristbands.
It sucks
was
up
the
there.
worst.
Yeah.
The worst. That was terrible.
That doesn't even sound fun to me.
Oh man, if you guys are watching, I'm so sorry I did this. It wasn't fun. It was
So
the most
how did it
stressful.
end? You dated both of them for a minute and then it just ended?
Well, it actually ended on one of these girls' birthday. Oh, it ended on my birthday actually.
Okay, that's better.
So yeah, it came to a big
That's
ending.
deserving.
I remember we were at a Sharky's, which is here in Hermosa Beach. I was.
So you didn't feel bad though, like in your.
I felt terrible.
Okay.
So one of the girls, anyways, I brought the girl I was actually dating with me as my date, and all my friends were there. But my ex-girlfriend showed up, and because she knew where I was gonna be.
Right.
So she sat right in the front. She came to the back, and I was like, okay, it's cool. And then I didn't think she was gonna do anything. She came with her friend too. Oh, I'll never forget this. Jeez. And then she goes, it's like we're all in the back, and then she comes up to the girl I was dating, and she goes, "Hey, can I talk to you?"
Oh no.
And I was like, "Oh, this is not gonna be good." And I guess she had said this exactly. Hey, I'm just going to quote this, and she said, "Hey, he's fucking the both of us." And then the other girl got mad, stormed off. The other girl got mad, stormed off. And I thought they were going to fight, but they didn't fight. And then I was like, what happened here? And I lost actually a really close friend that night because my friend Tony was like, hey, make sure she doesn't say anything to her. Make sure they stay away from each other. So Tony's like, yeah, no problem. And my girlfriend or my ex-girlfriend comes up and Tony's right there and he just lets it happen. I'm like,
so you exiled them out of your friend group.
Yeah. I was so mad.
Did he do it on purpose, kind of?
I think so because then this is the
he dated one of them.
Worse. It even gets worse. So then he's trying to console my ex-girlfriend, but then trying to get her phone number. And I was like,
that's
whoa.
why I was just gonna say that because he was trying to hook up. So he was like, oh, I want this to crash and burn, so I could be the hero.
It's what he tried to do.
He tried to swoop in
Ask
and be the
Daniel
hero.
because Daniel and I were at odds about this, and then Tony had his birthday, and I knew where it was, and I was like, fuck that, I'm gonna show up and I'm gonna ruin this, and it's exactly what I did.
Oh Jesus!
But that was the worst moment. Oh, it was bad. It was.
So
bad.
that's how you know when it's gonna end is when you have one of the people you're dating on the roof and the other on the ground floor.
That was a different. Those are
That's
two different
how you
nights and
know.
two different stories, though.
Doesn't matter.
But,
That's how
yeah.
you know when it's over. When you're dating two people, one of those is over.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. And the worst part is, it was a lie. I wasn't hooking up with both of them. It wasn't true, actually.
You were just spending time with
No, what she meant to say, and it came out wrong, is he's fucking the both of us over.
Oh, but she forgot the over
Yes.
part.
That
Got it.
is exactly what
Very
happened.
convenient. Okay, great.
And that ended that. But it's funny because now the one that said that, my ex-girlfriend, I'm still friends with her. And the other one that heard that, I am not friends.
Clearly.
I
She
mean, I
was
saw her
like-
at Trader Joe's once, and I was like, oh, hey, but we're not friends.
Yeah, no, that was probably really awkward. Do you remember, quick segue, because this popped into my head, when we were younger, and when you said, like, going out with people, I don't know, we're aging ourselves, but when your parents would be like, oh, are you guys dating? You're like, ew, we're not dating, we're talking.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? We're talking. We're
We're
giving
just
it.
talking.
Ew, we're talking, Mom.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was a thing.
You were talking,
Man.
and then you're going out. And then after the talking stage, then you were going out.
I remember when I would go out with my family all together. There used to be a time where we all used to go out to eat every Sunday together. And like my dad, my aunt, my cousins.
Oh.
And my cousin was, I think I was 16, 17. And my cousin was like, oh, you should, it was a girl cousin, Jennifer. She was like, talk to that girl, you should talk to that girl, she likes you. And I was like, no. And I remember like being so annoyed, I was like, Jennifer, I'm gay. And then she was like, really? And I was like, yeah. And then obviously it wasn't, but like, I don't say obviously.
Just to
I
get her
wasn't.
off of her?
I wasn't.
Just
But
get her
she
off
did
your
leave me
back.
alone, and she was like, and then I think I showed up to Christmas with a girl, and she's like, I thought you were gay. And I was like, no, man, I just told you that just to.
You're like, I didn't want to talk to the waitress. Leave
Hey,
me
I have a
alone.
question for you. So, this is, man, we're totally veering off course, but I like the personal stories.
I do too.
So, I have a question. So, have you ever met somebody,
Mm-hmm.
whether it be at a social atmosphere place, and just kind of been like talking to them, and they get enamored with kind of what you do, or if you're like, oh, I do this, or I do
Not
that.
yet, no.
I was gonna say, is there any time where you have to make an excuse of for your own good, just to get out of a situation?
Yes, I have pulled the lesbian card in 2006 in Cancun with my family.
Oh, let's hear it.
Okay, long story short, we go to Cancun. I'm with my family.
Long story long.
Long story long, we go to Cancun with my family, and it's my sister and my parents, and My brother, and we have like our family friends with us. It's a big gaggle of people. So
Gaggle, nice word.
Gaggle of
This is the
people.
word gaggle anymore.
So we get there. Ooh, do you mind?
You know.
And we're having fun and whatever. And I end up meeting this young kid that was, well, not young. He was my age, maybe a year older. Comes like in the pool, floating by me and my sister. He's like, "Hey guys, what's up?" And we're like, "Hey," and he's talking, and he ends up hanging out with us for like the rest of the week. And then, like, at one point, my parents and I even go to, like, have you ever been to, like, Senor Frogs? Like,
Yeah.
out of the resort,
Mm-hmm.
you, like, go to this other bar. He, like, he came with us to that bar and, like, would go out to dinner
And
with us.
how old were you?
16.
Okay.
And then at some point, or no, he wanted to, but then my dad was like, "Hey, listen, man, this is a family thing. I'm sorry." Because my dad didn't want to be responsible for some random kid. But he spoke Spanish, so we had this whole theory that he was actually the son of one of the employees of the resort who would just kind of latch on to different families while his parents were working or something. We came up with a bunch of different theories. He was a really nice guy. We actually ended up staying in touch. His name was Jose. And we ended up, when I first moved out here, we ended up getting coffee and
Get
like
out.
catching up. So we're still friends. But at the time, I was afraid.
Larry gives us another super chat. Thank you. Larry.
What's up, Larry? Thank you so much. But yeah, at the time, I was just. So he ended up taking a liking towards me, and my sister was like, "Hell yeah, be with my sister." And he was a nice guy. We just weren't feeling it. We were on vacation. We didn't want a vacation boyfriend that year. And yeah, so I just told him, I'm like, "Listen, I think you're a really nice guy. I'd love to be friends, but I'm batting for the other team." And he was like, "Are you though?" And I'm like, "Yes, I am." And he's like,
Did you ever
okay.
tell him that? Does he still think to this day you're a lesbian?
No, I think he figured it out. I don't
Oh,
think
yeah.
I ever told him directly, but I think he put two and two together and was like, "Oh," and then we were like, "Haha, just kidding," But it was like that was the one time I vividly remember, like, I don't know how else to say this kindly, so I'm going to lie about it.
That's crazy. Vacation
Yeah.
hookups. That's another thing.
Vacation boyfriends.
Listen, I had it happened to me and my friend. We went on a cruise together to the Bahamas, and then we were in Orlando for a while. And it's crazy because right before then we went to a palm reader,
Ooh, I love palm readers.
and that palm reader told him that he was going to meet somebody overseas. And he did meet somebody overseas. Ended up marrying her.
What?
Then they got a divorce in epic fashion. But anyway, it does happen. It's crazy the places you meet people and
Yeah.
the people you get attached to.
Oh, yeah.
So back to this topic though, when did you know that it was the right time to engage in a really serious relationship?
Ooh, my first serious relationship, I knew it was time because it was like I think I met him junior year in high school. He was the new guy.
I feel like this is almost like therapy for
It
us.
is. It's so vulnerable. Yeah, he was the new guy, and he was like a fresh face, and he was kind of like the bad boy. He was quiet. He slept in class. Naturally, I was attracted to that. And
Are you into the bad boys?
yeah, I'm into people that are the opposite of me. Like, I'm into people that I don't understand, that I have to figure out, that are quiet, that are problematic, that have things going on, baggage. I loved baggage at one
Really?
point in my life. These are all things I'm learning in hindsight. I wasn't actively saying this at 17. I was just like,
You didn't know
"Oh."
that.
I didn't know. Anyway, we ended up dating. I knew it was time because there was something different about him. I liked him, and I kind of felt like, I gave him the runaround for a year because I didn't, like I said, I was a virgin. I didn't want to do anything. He never pressured me, but, I also didn't want to date him fully commit because a lot of people had a problem with him because he was a troublemaker. And so, but it was also kind of cool because my whole high school was like, I don't know, I just can't see them together. And I was like, yeah, fuck you guys. It's because I do what I want, and he does what he wants. And I'm like, listen, I don't need to date the captain of the football team if I don't want to. Quit putting me up on this pedestal that I want to be on. I was just like, really, like, it was like,
Is that your rebellious days?
yeah, I'm getting all fiery. I didn't date him to rebel. It was an added bonus that made me thrive on life. Like, that was one of the things where I was just like, way to go, Jess. You really are pissing people off here. And I love it. Because I wasn't doing anything wrong, but they were getting all fiery at me. Maybe that was not true, but that's how it occurred to me. Because a lot of people would be like, what are you doing with him? I'm like,
I like that
I like
story.
him. The heart wants what it wants.
Really?
Pulling all that stuff, yeah. So I knew it was time. Because we also got to know each other for a year, and like and it was kind of nice. We would send each other like not poetry, but like he wrote and I wrote, so we would send each other stuff back and forth, and it just felt a little bit deeper than all my other potential boyfriends or potential crushes, not boyfriends, crushes at the time. And so after you get to know each other for that whole year, you do develop a friendship and a bond, a closeness. So when I went to college, that's when I committed. He was like 3 hours away, but that's when I was like, listen, if you want to do this, like, let's do it for real. And that's when I committed to him, was like after giving myself that year. Like I said, I like slow and steady, so I was a late bloomer.
So wait, I have a question for you. So if you were in a movie, what's your character type? Like, are you the girl next door? Are you the kind of like girl with the secret? Are you the bad girl? Like, what are you? Yeah, like if you had to do like kind of sum yourself up.
I think it's confusing because I think I appear to be the girl next door. I appear to be the sweet, nice girl. That
And
is
then
what
in the
I've
chat,
always
what
been.
kind of girl do you think she is? I'm really curious.
Oh no! Yeah, tell me. I'm curious. So that's, I think, what I appear to be. What I feel like is put in a box sometimes. Like, I do feel dynamic. Sometimes I do feel like a raging asshole who just wants to be a problem. Sometimes I feel like I'm a really sweet person. Generally speaking, I'm a nice person and my heart's always in the right place. That's one of the things that I will give myself credit for, is like I really do care about others and I'm extremely empathetic. But, you know, sometimes you want to be funny and raunchy. I like being raunchy. I like swearing, and people are kind of like put off by that when they first meet me because they weren't expecting it. And I'm like, I don't know.
Interesting. See,
So,
for me,
I don't know. I guess it's a combination of girl next door with a flair.
Have you ever seen Due Date with Jamie Foxx, Robert Downey Jr., Zach Galifianakis?
Yes! When the car goes over the bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or does that get him to the Greek?
No, that's Get Him to the Greek.
Okay, never mind. I didn't see that.
Watch Due Date. There was one time I was at a bar and a girl was like, hey, you remind me of Robert Downey Jr. in Due Date. At the time, I had not seen the movie.
No, that's the one where they're in the bathroom and Zach Galifianakis does that whole scene about his father.
Yes.
Yes, okay, I did see that. I cried in that scene.
What, is that the part where he's like, all right, I want you to act like you're a sergeant. He's like, or like a coach. He's like, all right, come on, team. Let's get together, team. Like, anyway, a girl told me that you are like Robert Downey Jr. in that movie Due Date. And Daniel Jerome.
And you're flattered by it because you've been running with that ever since.
Well,
I love it.
Daniel Jerome was like, he was telling me that for a long time. I was like, dude, I gotta watch this fucking movie.
Interesting.
So I watched it, and as soon as do you remember the scene where like he's talking to little kids and they're going crazy, and he punches them in the stomach, and he's like, just breathe. He's like telling them like, hey, like just breathe. Like, I was like, that's something that I would totally do. And I was like, man, I kind of am like Robert Downey
I could
Jr.
see
in this
that.
fucking movie.
I could totally see that.
And do you remember Fontana, Nagami? You know Fontana, right? And they would always joke that Fontana would be Zach Galifianakis from.
Oh, that is so rude.
But it was that is, if you ever watch that movie, that does pretty much sum up kind of who I am. Like,
okay, but if you had to put a name to it, what would you say? If somebody had to put you in a box and a character.
I think I come off like, and I'll be pretty self-reflective here. I think I come off very much like an asshole, but I definitely do have like feelings, and I think that like I don't like really kind of outwardly being like, I'll talk to you on the side and be like, hey, is everything okay? Kind of deal. But it's kind of like, to me, it's kind of like I just want to do my thing, just kind of get done and move and move and move.
Yeah.
But yeah, that movie.
That movie is really yes.
Go watch this movie if you
Robert
ever
Downey
really
looks good right there.
If you ever really want to know how I am in real life, just watch this movie. Like, that's a pretty fair assessment of like how I am.
I gotta watch that again then.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
It's a
I
pretty
feel
fair
like
assessment.
I wish if I could be one, if like somebody could play me, I would want it to be, even though it would not fit, Caitlin Olsen
Caitlin, who's that?
from It's Always Sunny.
I've never seen it. I've never seen Always
Okay,
Sunny.
but you know the lady.
No. I don't know who Caitlin Olsen is.
She's hilarious. The Mick.
Oh, she's the blonde girl.
Yeah, she's a blonde
I know
girl.
what the Mick is.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But it's the girl from that, and she's just so funny to me. I just love her.
That's who you would want to play you in the movie?
Yeah.
Really?
Because she's so funny. I like funny. I love when people are just...
Do you think that she has the personality to play you?
I don't know, probably not.
Ooh,
I
good
probably
question.
just want...
We actually have to get back on topic.
Oh, yeah.
Have you guys ever been set up by friends for dates? We talked about this, actually. I have.
You have.
I have.
I've not been set up. Mm-mm.
So let me tell you a fun...
But I like setting people up.
I have been set up on a date with a girl, and I remember them being very nervous about me.
It's terrifying.
Well, they were
meeting
very
somebody new.
nervous for two reasons.
It's scary when you know the person, let alone not know the person.
They were nervous about what I would say, because I sometimes have no filter when I talk, and they were nervous about what my reaction was going to be. But she was
Was it
great...
a double date? Like, at least they were there with you? And
Well, this is also the time where they told me speaking a British accent. So...
Oh, yeah. Starting it off on a
let's
lie.
start it off right. But she was a nice girl, but it was fine. I had a good time. Like I said in the past, like I said in previous episodes, she was very forward.
Yeah.
And that to me, that's kind of like a turnoff, unless I'm super inebriated.
Forward, why? Like, here's what I'm looking for, blah, blah, blah.
Very forward in terms of like,
I kind of like that.
you don't have, like, I didn't have to wait for anything. It just happens, you know what I mean? I didn't have to work for anything.
Oh, that's different. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so
Okay.
that was
She was like hanging on you, and she gave you
it's easy.
no mystery. No
like I
reason.
said, I'm always the kind of guy that likes challenges and likes the chase, and I kind of like the, you know, in a weird way, I don't want to say I like the romance of romance, but I definitely like the. Oh, hey, Jess, your friend Dino set you and Jordan up.
Dino!
Dino's in the chat, by the way.
Oh, my
I'm just kidding.
goodness.
He's not.
Wait, who said that then, Jordan?
Jordan.
Oh, that's true.
That's the
That's
person
Caitlin
that
also.
played.
I love her.
I didn't see that.
No, that is true. I guess he did set us up. Ooh, sorry, Jordan. I guess I was thinking like a double date. But no, yeah, he did set us up. He was the one that initially introduced us, but I had
Wait,
seen
you're
him.
about to get married pretty soon, and you don't even know the origin story of the person you're marrying? Of how
I
this
don't
all
consider
happened?
that being set up, so I think that's not because my mind wasn't there.
Gotcha.
Like, he technically was the reason, but prior to him even saying, hey, Jess, here's my friend Jordan, I had seen Jordan on social media.
Oh.
So I'd like to think I kind of independently found that, but that's not. Yeah, I guess you're right.
But you did
sorry,
not.
Jordan.
You did not.
That was Dino.
Yeah, so that's interesting though, because we both have been set up. I think it's an awkward. Those are awkward
Now I gotta
situations,
think.
though, right?
Yeah, no, that was it. Just Jordan.
Those are. That's it.
Yeah.
Those are definitely awkward situations when you get set up. What are some? What can go wrong in those situations though? Everything.
Everything. Absolutely everything.
Can you lose a friend? Is that the worst thing that can happen?
Um,
Oh, another super chat by Andros the Warrior. Hi, Alpha.
What do you say?
Okay. I got this idea for a Godzilla anime show, even though there's 2 movies. Maybe one day I would like to cast you 2 in my grand vision.
Please, we would love that. Oh, I love Godzilla.
I love Godzilla
The-
too. Cast us. You know what, Andros? I'm going to ask you another question. Who would you cast to play us in a movie? She wants who?
Caitlin Olsen.
I think I want Hulk Hogan. No. I want... Who?
I love her.
You know what? Daniel Day-Lewis should play both of us. He can play any role ever. Viggo Mortensen too. Viggo Mortensen is a chameleon actor.
No. Okay, wait, let me.
And Christian Bale.
No, you could be played by truly Jordan Peele.
No.
Who would play me?
He's not as charming as me, I don't feel like.
He could act charming.
He's not.
He's an actor.
I don't think Jordan Peele's that great of an actor. I think he's a great director.
Key and Peele, are you kidding me? That is the funniest
Terrible.
stuff I've ever seen.
Hey,
in my life.
who is the bigger star out of the 2? Obviously, it's Jordan Peele.
Because he's taken on different projects that have put him in the spotlight, like directing. But yeah, I guess you're right.
It's Jordan Peele.
Yeah, it is Jordan Peele.
I would think I want to be played by somebody with great acting chops, like a John Cena, I think.
Only the best.
All right. J.K. Simmons. I would love to be played by J.K. Simmons. Actually, you would be probably played by J.K. Simmons, Josh.
Larry,
Larry David.
Larry
100%. That's a good point. Larry David would
or
play
David
Josh.
Cross.
Larry David
For
would be
Josh?
You know, obviously, you know
Oh
who plays
my God, that
Unigami.
is so funny, Josh.
Masioko. 100%. 100%.
Who's Masioko? Bring him up.
Get us a picture of Masioko. Put him up there.
Thanks,
Can you get a
Daniel.
side-by-side with you on it, too?
He's like, yeah, I'll do that. Oh, that's funny. Okay, wait. So the time is right. When do you think it's time to break up? When do you think it's time to hook up? I answered it. You did it.
When do I think it's time to hook up? I think it's time to hook up when... I honestly think it's time... There's definitely gets to a certain point when you meet somebody and you just absolutely know, hey, we're going to hook up tonight. And it's almost kind of like an undeniable thing. And sometimes you even go with that mindset in your head already, knowing
Yeah.
like, oh, tonight's going to be the night.
Right.
And if it's not, then you get extremely disappointed.
Yeah.
But that doesn't happen. You sometimes you already know. I'm okay with that. I'm very much not. I'm terrible at when it's time to end it, because I know for a fact when things have gone past their expiration date. But I am also the same kind of kid that if something says expired, I'll give it the old college try. Like I'll if it's sour cream, and I'll smell it first, and if it doesn't smell bad, I'll try to taste it. You know what I
Okay,
mean?
but you said something interesting. You said you clearly know when the expiration date is.
Yeah.
How do you clearly know that?
Because when things start heading downhill by like you said, it's an accumulation of art. Oh, look at that! Tell me that's not like at the Masioko, Daniel Nagami Masioko.
That is hilarious.
I wish you would have put up
Yes.
the cosplay when you did that little video skit and then him and the heroes. But I think
That's
that
awesome.
you know when it's going downhill when it gets to a point, and I know myself well enough to know that I don't want to talk to them on the phone.
Yep.
And
You're unhappy.
And then when you see them, it's just kind of like,
That's what I'm saying. Equal parts love and hate.
Yeah.
You don't want to be there.
well, I don't know about the love part.
Oh. Or have you ever been in a relationship, ooh, this is dark, where you feel like you both genuinely care about each other. Maybe not love, but care about each other. No, let's say love, but you don't like each other. It's like at the end of the road where you both know
Yeah,
it's veering
so
off, but like
my-
you guys still have attachment, but like you genuinely you can feel it when you just don't like each other.
One of my ex-girlfriends, I
very strange.
lived with her for like a better part of a year. And like the worst part about living with somebody, and I'm sure you kind of know this now, but I knew it more so then because it wasn't working out, is I loved her, but like when you get into an argument and you don't have really anywhere to go, it is the worst feeling in the
Slam
world.
the bedroom door and
Yeah,
that's
it's
it. I'll be out
and then-
here.
Now we have these stupid smartphones, so I can't even hang up aggressively.
Right.
I have to just swipe really aggressively. And I remember just kind of like being like, all right, what? Because I had just slept. There's nights where I just like slept on the couch or on the floor, just being like,
Really?
yeah. Because it would get to a point where I just wanted to get away.
Yeah, you needed
But then I
space.
would though. Sometimes I would just leave and just drive around for a few hours. But because I love driving, I think it's the most therapeutic
It
thing in the
is.
world. But I definitely got to this point. Looking back now, I think there was an accumulation of a lot. There was a lot of pressure there.
Yeah.
There was, look at that.
Oh,
Look alike.
my, that is uncanny. Wait, turn your head this way so we can. Oh my gosh.
We even have like the same amount of gray in our beard.
Uncanny. That made my day.
So yeah, there was definitely times
Brilliant.
where we just couldn't stand to be around each other.
That's what I'm saying. There was love there. There was attachment. But
That
there
was
wasn't-
that situation.
But there was
But
just-
but we broke up. We broke up for real. Broke up. Like that wasn't like me trying just to get out of it. Like I was
Yeah.
pretty upfront about that. But there's been other times where where people that you've known that I've dated, I just kind of like. I did certain things, not bad, but I did certain things just to get broken up with. But even then, it didn't work. So I was just like, "Fuck you, I'm done."
Okay, just from a woman's standpoint, no, not even women. I think human standpoint, it is so much better. I would rather have you say, listen, it's not working out. I know it's going to hurt, but this is the way I feel. Instead of dragging me along, stringing me along.
I didn't. I wouldn't drag anybody along. Just wouldn't answer the phone.
Oh.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, but you're dragging it out. She's
Well-
still thinking, hey, well, I thought we were dating, blah, blah. She's wasting all this time trying to get a hold of you when you could have just ended it in a phone call or face-to-face real quick. And then she could
It's
have
not
moved on.
ever real quick though. That's the thing. I remember having conversations.
Yeah,
Hey,
no,
how long is this
breakups
gonna
aren't
take?
quick.
It's
You're
not
right.
quick.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, hey, I need 5 minutes, and I'm like, hey, this isn't working out. Then it'd be like, why, and then stop calling her. I said it's over.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like this. I thought this was supposed to be quick. It's
Yeah,
not
never
quick. It's not a quick
It's
situation.
A few months. It is a few months. We got to do a breakup episode too.
Oh, maybe that should be next week. How to break? And maybe everybody should write in there.
Yeah, exactly. What are we saying here? Guys, what do you want to talk about next
Alpha,
week?
hi Alpha, or sorry, Alpha. It says, I love your ideas, guys, so it could happen. Here's what I do want to know, because I actually probably do need advice on this. I do need advice on how to ease out of a relationship. I'm the guy that kind of like, same thing at parties, especially parties and entertainment parties we have to go to sometimes. I hate saying goodbye to people, so I'll just kind of ease out and leave. I think now, man,
Interesting.
my first wound. Let's talk about when I was 12 years old. I feel like I'm sitting on a couch now. Larry Newbill, another super chat. He says, "You two made my Tuesday nights better."
Larry, you make
Thank
ours
you,
better.
Larry. We are.
You're the
willing-
super chat king. I think it's safe to say Larry's the super chat king.
You are the super chat king. That's your new name, Larry the King.
Larry the King.
But yeah, man, I do definitely have a problem. I definitely have a problem with like being the guy that says bye to things. I just kind of like
Interesting.
leaving.
Okay, but when you were in the serious relationship living together, you couldn't just ghost her because you obviously had to have a conversation.
No, we had a real breakup.
Okay, so that was real. So you're saying from now, I'm telling you,
Let me
it's
ask you
like
here-
being cheated on.
I was
would
gonna ask you this.
so much rather somebody break up with me than try to do both and cheat. You know what
If
I'm
you
saying?
take a break from a relationship,
Oh, breaks are not a thing.
when you take a break from a relationship and you date somebody else, is that cheating on them?
This happened to me, and so
I did it.
Okay,
Obviously not to you, but I did it to
right.
somebody.
No, this has happened. Here's the thing with breaks. I don't agree with. Breaks are just either an excuse to hook up with somebody else or the pre-breakup. That's why it's called a break. Now, I understand people needing space, but generally speaking, if you need that much time apart, it's not working. So for me, a break is fine if that's what you do want to do, but be on the same page. I was on a break with somebody I was dating, and I specifically said, "Is this the type of break where we get to hook up with other people? Because I need to
Did
know."
you already know that your eye was wondering?
Yeah, well, so was his, obviously.
Fair enough.
And so I was like, is this the type of break where we get to hook up with other people and experiment? Because if so, like, listen, I'm in a new city. It would be fun for me. And he's like, no, this is not the type of break where we do that, Jessica. And I was like, okay, great, whatever. So we're committed. He's like, yeah, we're just on a break. Great. I'm at work one day scrolling through Facebook. And what do I come across? My ex. Or I'm sorry, yeah, at the time. My boyfriend that I was on a break from with some blonde sitting on his lap in a group photo before they head out to the bar. Ooh!
You forgot to mention he was dressed as Santa Claus, though, so it was perfectly.
No, he was not. He was no Santa. And I remember I was, whatever that feeling is, that's equal parts like so angry and so hurt at the same time. You don't know whether to like scream or cry. Have you ever had that feeling? Where you are just so.
Yeah, I
you're
guess.
You're so pissed, but you're also so. Yeah, so there was a lot of emotions there. But I remember I was like, oh, no, he did not. So called him up. I was like, listen, I saw this thing on Facebook. That's so embarrassing. How dare you betray me on the internet? He's like, we are on a break. And I'm like, I specifically fucking asked you if this is the type of break where we are doing that. And you said no. You reassured me. And now I have to find out through, Facebook that you hooked up with somebody. And she's on your lap. And like,
Sucks.
What? So that was bad. So when you say break, I get a little triggered because you got to be on the same page, and just know it's probably the beginning of the end.
So I'm going to put out a challenge to all of you folks that are in the chat right now. I think, we got another super chat.
Who's eating hot dogs?
Facebook, a.k.a. Snitchbook. Challenge for all of you people in the chat right now. What I want you guys to do is send us an email at ths@thathashtagshow.com. And I want you to give your either questions or experience about breaking up. And the reason I want to do this is because Jessica here is going to answer all of your questions, and then those are going to get posted on our website at thathashtagshow.com. So it'll give you a direct link to see these articles up. It's almost kind of like a Dear Abby, but a Dear Jessica will do.
Okay.
Send in your questions to ths@thathashtagshow.com, and Jessica I'll email them into Jess, and she'll respond, and then we'll put them all up on the website. So that
You're not
way,
going to answer them too?
I think it's better coming from you because I'm not good at the breakup stuff, obviously.
Oh, I know all about the feelings. Hit me with it.
It's because you had mentioned being on a break, and then I remember thinking to myself, man, I remember. Oh, a big problem that I had, especially with ex-girlfriends, was that my ex-girlfriends would never get along with my friends that were girls. And even though that could have been an issue, obviously it definitely was.
Yeah.
But I remember the same thing happened. So I was dating some other girl, and she saw me in a picture she saw me out with my ex-girlfriend on like Facebook.
Oh, but she was your ex-girlfriend?
Yeah, but then I just recently broke up with her.
That's weird.
And then she was like, she straight up told me, my heart dropped, and I felt like an asshole about it. But then I felt like,
yeah, that's a little shitty.
yeah, but I didn't do anything, so I didn't feel that bad about it. But that's a trust thing. You should trust me.
No, but she should trust
Hey,
you.
no, hey, trust.
You need to communicate.
Whoa,
Say,
whoa,
hey,
whoa.
listen, just so you know, I made lunch plans with my ex, the ones that I'm still friends with, so just so you know, that's happening.
I just say don't tag me in pictures anymore.
Or
Daniel Jerome is the worst. Do you ever go out with him? Anybody ever go out with Daniel Jerome and you go to like a lunch or some dinner or something and he fucking tags you? There's no reason to this. Daniel, I'm sorry. I told him this before. The only reason to tag somebody in photos when you're with Daniel is that if you get kidnapped, at least they know the last place you were. That is the only reason to tag me in a photo with you.
Fair enough.
Anybody else can tag me, but he just tags all the time. Anyways, I want you guys, challenge. And Larry, you're in here. Bat2C Man, you're in here. Andros, all of you guys, I want you guys to send questions in. THS at thathashtagshow.com. Send in your breakup questions to Jessica. We're going to post those on our website. She's going to have a new column on our website called Ask Jessica.
Oh,
we'll do this every week.
This is news to me.
We'll get them posted on it's going to be super easy. You're just answering emails.
No, I'm down.
And then we're going to post them on the website, and then we're going to address these every week on this show. We'll have a section here called Ask Jessica, a little segment that you'll do, and then we'll kind of go through some of the questions that you get. But guys, I want to say thank you guys so much for joining us this week. Jessica, where can everybody find you on the social media?
Thanks so much for watching, guys. You can find me at Jess_Heidenreich, and for the few times a year I'm on Twitter, J_Bojangles.
You can find me at that hashtag Joe on social media. You can also find me on Thursday. This Thursday, I'm going to be on the superhero show called the Superhero News Network. And check out our Facebook group, THS Hashtaggers, and our website, thathashtagshow.com. Why, you might ask? Because we just broke some huge Marvel news that's on our website right now, and if you're a fan of Doom Patrol, that is on there as well. Also, tomorrow, get ready. I'm just going to say this right now. Oh, somebody just sent their question in for you already. I'm just going to say this right now. We have another exclusive tomorrow dropping about the DC Universe streaming service, one of the shows on there. I'm not going to say which one, but you'll find out shortly tomorrow. Check out our website, thathashtagshow.com. We'll be dropping news all the time. But that's going to do it for us, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. This has been Quest for Player 2. We love taking your questions. Send your breakup questions in to Jessica at the email is ths at thathashtagshow.com. Send them in there, and they're going to be posted here. And we thank you guys so much for taking your Tuesday night and joining us.
Yeah.
Please hit that like, share, and subscribe button to stay up to date with everything trending
In geek pop culture.
Boom.